It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. Legal tampering officially underway in the NFL. This from Mike Garofalo of NFL Network. The Steelers have reached an agreement on a 2-year deal with quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. The former number 2 overall pick and Chicago Bears starter heads to Pittsburgh. Also, the Titans have officially announced they have extended tight end Jeff Swaim on a 1-year deal. The Tennessee Volunteers are SEC tournament champions the first time since 1979 with a 65-50 win over Texas A&M in the championship game on Sunday. So the Vols head into the NCAA tournament having won 12 of their last 13 games, ranked number 5 in the country per the latest AP poll, yet are just a 3 seed. They will take on 14 seed Longwood on Thursday at 1:45 in the first round and will play the winner between Colorado State and Michigan if they do advance. Vanderbilt will be playing postseason hoops as well, heading into the NIT as a 4 seed. And it's an all-Nashville matchup in the first round at Memorial Gym. Vanderbilt hosting Belmont with a 6 p.m. tip tomorrow. On the women's side, the Lady Vols, a 4 seed. They will host 13 seed Buffalo Saturday, and Belmont, a 12 seed, after winning the OVC this season, taking on Oregon on Saturday on the road. In case you missed it, in the NFL, the GOAT is back. Tom Brady announced on social media Sunday he will return to Tampa for his 23rd season, after announcing his retirement about 40 days ago, saying, quote, "These past 2 months, I have realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Be good. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up, everybody? Lonzo just checking in right now on the Zone TV chat. He says, "Hey, Woodchuck, Mickey, and Lucas Panhandler."
Woodchuck.
I was hoping Woodchuck would stick a little bit better than it has. I appreciate Lonzo doing that.
Definitely was one of the nicknames that I was called to as well. But, man, I thought he was checking in on the Mitch Trubisky and what he got, man, when this 2-year deal to the Steelers. By the way, are the Steelers on the schedule again? I don't know. Yeah, Lucas or Schaefer would tell us because, us old dingbats.
Oh, no, I got it. I got the Titans opponents.
Yeah, well, I know you're a Steelers fan, so you don't think so?
Texans, Colts, Jags. I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm a Ramon Foster fan, but not a Steelers fan. No Steelers this year. So you don't have to see Mitch Trubisky. Thank God, because you're going to see everybody else. We went through this last week.
It's still looming who the Colts going to get, and yours truly, Marcus Mariota, who you – for all you national guys, you usurped them all because you said it last week. Immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yep.
And that's what's coming out. Not to say that's going to happen, but it's now servicing that may be someone they – I thought it was going to be – I think I even made that call my shot. I thought I said Mitch Trubisky to the Colts. Did I say that? I think I did.
I think we might have missed our shots over the weekend.
I missed every shot known to man. One day I'm going to try to actually win.
Well, I mean, you've been very upfront with you. We call our shot on Friday, and you've been very upfront with yours. Are more for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. I did get Tennessee in the championship, but I did not get it right that I didn't say they were going to win it. I got LSU lost that before I even left out of the parking lot. They lost their Arkansas.
Well, they lost their coach.
Yeah, they lost their coach.
It was a weird weekend if you're an LSU fan.
And Mizzou too. So they got about 3 or 4 coaches. Now in the SEC basketball.
And Georgia bailed out Florida. They hired Mike White. They just switched coaches.
Wow.
Yeah, come on over, man. Sure.
That almost should be illegal, but I know why. But, yeah.
Florida, you're like, okay, have a good one. Good deal. All right.
Man.
Move it right along.
Who's going to go there?
A little bit of Titans news. I don't know. Jeff Swaim's not because he just got brought back on a 1-year deal to the Titans.
Whoa, that was a security blanket sign right now. We got to get this done. You know what makes me think of is that they targeted someone in free agency and that person signed. And so now they're getting a security blanket. They're going to draft one and maybe sign another veteran, obviously, or even Ferkser to match up with and have, 3 guys again. And reason why I hope it's this way, because then I'm hoping Jonnu just has another good season or not so good season, and then they cut him. He got paid by New England, and he comes back to the Titans, and then is with the Titans with a modest, good, decent contract.
You've been on that formula for a little while, though. Yeah. Because I know some people were saying.
You know why I'm following it? I'm going to go through the lineage. Thornton, Colts guy, not The linebacker Thornton.
David Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eddie Robinson signed with the Jaguars, come back to the Titans. Mm-hmm. See, so it happens. You got to get paid by somebody. They may overvalue what you want to pay them, and then they come back because that's their home, really, their base of who they want to play with, and have a modest contract, decent contract for NFL standards, and they keep it moving and very productive. So we shall see. If he doesn't have a good year and they don't utilize him, they have no choice but to let him go. So it's not like you're waiting, by the way, either. So if they find somebody they like or get someone who steps up to the plate that's really good that they may draft, I think they're going to go through the draft too, then that option could not be, available next season. So you just never know, what could happen. But you know him as a person, and you know what you like to have around. So, yeah.
The great Chris Sanders. He was here and went to Cleveland, and then he came back here. Remember that? Spent the last days of his career here with the Titans. So, yeah, that's fun. Always weird when that happens when a guy comes back. But it's a good thing.
Well, we can. How could we forget the best athlete that ever put on a uniform, in the Titan uniform, in my mind, even today, Javon Curse. Went to Philly, then came back. How could we forget?
My wife cried.
Your wife cried because Javon Curse left?
No. Well, when he left and when he came back.
Oh, wow.
Tears of sadness, tears of joy. She loved the freak.
Oh, I think you better be careful. Has she met him? You did say she loves the freak.
She does. She loves the freak.
Gotta make sure we get that one to her right there.
She is a big Javon Curse fan, but I remember when he re-signed, they had him at the press conference, and he went back. No one was wearing number 90 at the time, and he went and got the jersey and just put it on. Did his press conference in his 90. What's a shame there wasn't a little bit more gas left in the tank at that point, but it was fun having. He played 2 more years here.
Yeah.
So
that's what happens when you get these lower body injuries, and I'm gonna talk about it. He had knee, foot, toe, Achilles. Some of that happened in Philly too. It's just tough to be that same player, which he was a quality player, but he was just now a normal player. His game was built around speed, and once he lost that, then he became just a really good player, no different than anybody else. So that was unfortunate, but man, in his heyday, and I was definitely there in his heyday, it was lights out. I mean, man, I had never seen anything like that. I kept going saying, how much did you play linebacker or did you play defensive end? Because I'm like, I don't recall you playing defensive end. You was like, so he said, well, yeah, they put me on 3-point, in past situations. Like, man, I seem like I should have remembered him a lot more. He seemed like he would have had a lot more sacks, called fumble, but he definitely did it for us. That was for sure. So. Now we're now to modern era, and Landry compared to Javon Curse in their heyday, not even close as far as talent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Javon was.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm getting. This guy was a special talent. That's not to say he was a better player, but I think he could do all those things Landry does in today's age. In the first 5 years, Freak could do it. And really at a high level, he could drop and make picks and pick up fumbles with one hand and just run down the sideline and skip to Malou, my darling. They still can't catch him. Mm-hmm. So
if you're young, because we talk about Javon sometimes and you never saw him play, you need to go to YouTube and just look up Javon Curse, because and then let us remind you. Now, he didn't do this in college, as you pointed out. He kept moving forward at each stage of his career.
Mm-hmm. He was a free safety.
Right.
Yeah, he played safety in high school. When he told me that, I about fell to my knees. I was like, how was your big butt at safety? He was like, well, I wasn't as big then. I was real skinny.
Right.
He said, I was probably about, like 6'2" and a half. He said, I just kept growing. And then next thing you know, I'm at linebacker. And then he goes to the pros, and so he had to learn how to play defensive end. I mean, he by the way, he was getting drilled by our offensive line when he first got here.
You told me it took a while for it to click.
I was like, dude, you are in my way. He was getting drove like 5. I'm like, hey, man, I'm coming down. What are you doing? He said, well, I didn't know where I was looking for the ball.
Right.
Well, don't look. Just go. No, he finally figured out. It all came together, man, right there in that first game versus the Bengals. It was crazy.
That's what you said.
Yeah,
literally.
Literally, there was questions in the meeting room when we're watching film like, uh-oh, I don't know about this. Yeah, because and when I'm saying this, it's when he was getting doubled down by the tackle tight end. Mm-hmm. And he was getting drove, in preseason games.
Right.
It was, I wasn't even talking about practice. I'm talking about the game because, sometimes practice is practice. In the game, I was like, oh, man. I mean, I never heard Greg Williams MF somebody more than he did him. And I'm talking about daily. Like, that is not going to work. That's what I said. People have no idea. You can't compare sports to a regular day job. I mean, hockey players will get called for assault out there. You fighting, throwing punches. You hit somebody in the jaw, knock their tooth out, and bloody them up. So it's just, it's just a different deal, man. Nobody's sitting here MFing us daily.
Yeah. So what was it that finally clicked for him?
I don't know. It happened in that bingo game. That first game, it finally came all together.
On the field.
You could
in
see
the first
it gradually.
Game.
All I could say is I could see gradually him on the double down from tackle tight end. He start getting stronger at it and better at it. You could see it as the preseason game went on. But it never got to where you wanted it until the first game. It got better, but that first game, it came all together. It was incredible. I couldn't believe it. He was playing the double downs. He was going after people.
Was it like watching a child being born or something in front of you?
No. It's like this. It's like watching a child actually learn how to walk. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what it was like.
But that had to be amazing, though.
It was.
Because you're looking at this guy, and you see how fast he can run and jump and all those things, and then watching him learn how to play the position live in front of you.
It was incredible. It was like we were just as stunned as he was, probably. He probably was surprised there in the first game. Like, dang. Well, I think we got something here. I think that's what finally convinced me after that game and we watched tape. Because before that, it was as far as them running right at him.
Yeah,
it wasn't looking good. Yeah, people won't talk about it. But see, the maturation of a player growing in the position, and he did it at a rapid rate. Just think, I'm talking about 4 preseason games, and then all of a sudden he hits it the 5th game. And he wasn't playing all of those games now, by the way. He's only playing like a quarter or two.
Right.
And you can see it in practice. It was happening in practice, too. It's not as glaring because game intensity was a little bit different. But, yeah, when that happened, and then it was never any stopping him after that. It was like we expected, and he did, too, of himself. Yeah.
He was.
You got to so hats off to Greg Williams as well as Washburn. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was as destructive a 3 years as anybody has put together around
so
here.
That's what I'm talking about with the patience of first rounders. Everybody expects, I think now it's a little faster, immediate, playing time and having success, but they still have to go through the maturation process of understanding how to play in this league, things they can cheat, things they can get away with, and then things they can just kind of continually do and figure out that they can dominate. It's almost like when I said a kid walking, when you go into, like, you're one of the bigger kids and you don't want to, just dominate everybody because you realize you don't know if you actually can.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you realize, damn, if I barely touch him, he go flying the other way.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the same maturation process for all first-round picks, since we want to go down this road of first and second-round picks and what you can, do in this league. It is different. Sorry. Some guys can continue that just like they did in college, and some guys not.
Yeah. Dude. Jerry in Nashville on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline wanted to add a little something about the freak, Javon Curse. What's going on, Jerry?
Freak out.
Hey, freak out's right. Hey, first thing I got to say is go Balls.
Oh, yeah, man. No doubt. We definitely get into that.
All right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if this is a myth or if this is the truth, and I think I was watching it when it happened. When Bobby Bowden was coaching Florida State and Florida played Florida State, I think Javon was a senior or junior or whatever. He was a captain on the team. He went out for the coin toss, and Bobby Bowden put a player in there as a captain that never played all year. When they went out for the coin toss, this player pushed Javon Curse, and Javon Curse took a swing at him, and they were both ejected from the ball game before the game even started.
What? I did not know. I've never heard that story.
Go look it up on the internet. I believe it's on there, and I was sitting there watching it. Oh. But look it up on the internet. I think you can actually watch it when they go out for the coin toss. They were playing Florida State. He was either a junior or senior. And Bobby Bowden's intent was to get him out of the game, and it worked.
Wow. We'll check that out, Jerry, but we got a little breaking news. Actually, big breaking news.
Breaking Titans news on 104.5 The Zone.
This is per one Ian Rap Sheet Rappaport. The Titans are keeping center Ben Jones. He gets a 2-year deal worth $14 million. Boy, if y'all been watching these center deals,
man, $7 million a year, that's pretty much a steal.
Compared to what these
Well,
other
at
dudes
least
are
a couple million.
In case
Yes.
you're wondering how much the Titans value Ben Jones.
Yeah, he 2 years. So yeah, I love this because I thought they were going to lose him. It's funny, Buck going out of the studio and me and him both were having conversations about Ben Jones. Like, man, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to get him
He
back.
was
And
confident.
boom.
Yeah. Buck was confident they weren't going to keep him.
Yeah, I would have bet money. This is why I don't gamble. That they weren't going to get him because the market was getting way too high for this guy's getting at the low level $8 million and at the high level ceiling $14 million a year, 18. Mm-hmm.
Let's pick this up on the other side. Breaking Titans news. Ben Jones back with the Titans 2-year deal, $14 million. That seems like a steal compared to what some other cats have been getting. That's a dude who didn't want to move his family. Like, that sounds fine. That's just
Also, they factor in age. So
that's true.
Sometimes you get a little discount. And, living in Tennessee, taxes and everything else. So he probably thought it was much more beneficial. I think he would have got something out on the market, though.
Ooh. Well, let's discuss on the other side. You want to sound off on this? You can. Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline's wide open. Also, we'll do Ding Dong of the Week because it is Monday. I bet Vols fans have got a ding dong or two you'd like to throw in the ring. We'll be right back.
Go Vols!
Blaine and Mickey 104.5 The Zone. You hear that music, it means it's time for Ding Dong of the Week, courtesy of our friend Mark Spain. Go to markspain.com, get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing, or as we like to say, don't be a ding dong. Use Mark Spain. A little breaking news if you're just joining us. Ben Jones is back with the Titans per Ian Rappaport.
Tighten up.
2-year, $14 million deal. Honestly, if somebody had just come in here and said, hey, man, I know the Titans, and I think they're going to offer Ben Jones 2 for $14. I would have been like, I don't know. Because there's other dudes that don't have nearly the track record of Ben Jones getting more than that. I would have thought, I don't know about that if that's going to get it done. But it got it done.
Yeah, that was a smart move by him. I think both sides wins here.
Yeah.
I think the Titans feel like they won, and I feel like Ben Jones feels like, I gave you a break, but I get 2 more years with the Titans, and I could just stay in the same house and don't have to uproot my family and everything else. And we got a really good team. So hopefully I can make some of that up if what I left on the table if he did. Let's just say a couple mil. Maybe it gets, half of that back over the couple years and that they make a long run into the playoffs to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think that was a good deal, man. Ben Jones, you got to appreciate what he does in the trenches, tough as he is. And then, matching him up with Tannehill, no changes there. So right now, I'm assuming Radens is going to left guard. But Safo's gone. So now their only spot is open is Quiz.
Right tackle.
Right.
Yeah.
He could be a backup, but they could sign him back. You said he was restricted or unrestricted?
He is he's restricted, I believe, at this point in his career, which means they'd have to offer him something then to see if other team would match it.
And then we can get my man Undertaker. So that'd be cool, too, match him up with his brother.
Lucas is in our ears.
It's another ding dong.
You don't even have to say
it's another breaking news.
Yeah, you don't even have to.
What?
You don't even have to whisper that. Just go with it.
Is it the Titans?
Breaking Titans news on 104.5 The Zone.
Here we go.
This from Adam Schefter, former Seattle offensive lineman Jamarco Jones intends to sign a 2-year, $5.75 million deal, including over $3 million guaranteed with the Titans.
What?
Who reported that?
Shefty.
Oh,
no wonder I didn't see it.
That's why we didn't see it. Mickey, blocked him.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
He could tweet anything. He could tweet that I'd been fired and I wouldn't know it because I wouldn't see it.
I don't
That's
know much.
not out of the question.
To see if I know
sure.
much about this guy.
Tackle.
Yeah, offensive
Well,
line.
Blaine literally just said
talking about tackle.
So what are they going to do at right tackle? Well, there you go. You're paying that guy that much. That dude's your right tackle.
I don't know about that.
Come on now.
It says 2-year, 5.7.
Well, they can't pay everybody.
25 years old, former 5th-round pick out of Ohio State in 2018 to the Seahawks.
25 years old.
I would
His
say,
mother, God bless her soul.
I would say that they are not done there.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. What is that per year? 2.5? Correct? Somewhere around there. That is not starting money. That's why I say that.
Okay, so
That's
he's a swing guy, you think, maybe?
Competing.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that swing guy. I would agree with that, Mickey. Yeah. That doesn't mean he won't start, but there's opening to still draft a guy, bringing another guy to be the starter. Yeah, that is not starter money. And if you're going to do that, you do that for 1 year from a player's perspective.
Yeah.
That way it's a prove-it deal. Well, they got him for 2. So, no, that's a swing guy. I don't know how much he played with the Seahawks. You said he was starting?
7 career starts over the course of 4 seasons.
Oh, this is basically the Kendall Lamb signing again.
Yeah. Right, this is Lamb.
2 years, compete, don't compete,
Kelly,
swing guy. Yes.
What in their mind, how they're utilizing the player. If we get an emergency, he can hold up for 5 games, maybe half of a season if the guy doesn't work out. But, yeah, that's what I see.
I thought it was 1 year, 5.75.
No, when I saw 2-year, 5.7.
Yeah, it's 2.
It's, $3 million range. So,
yeah.
2.5, 2.75. But, yeah. So it's quality depth. So, they're.
I wonder if they think he and Radens could duke it out for the right tackle spot.
I don't know why. I just think Radens is going to be left guard. I just feel like that's where they're going to put him. And reason why I say that, even though his body type isn't guard, because they're usually shorter, stocky, because he's got some long arms. He's a big. I just think athletically he fits there better.
Yeah.
And he has the potential to be a solid player. At tackle, I don't know if he can ever really be the dude. People don't understand, like, how athletic Taylor Lewan is. Like, Dylan Radens isn't touching that radar, like, for offensive tackles. to me. That's why I was asking, is he a starter in this league as a tackle? And they keep talking about all the work he needs. Man, well, how much work was he doing last year? Didn't take that long. He wasn't even hardly playing, so he should have got a lot of work. So I think guard. I think that's why they make the move. I'm just guessing, though, and I could be totally wrong. I have no insight to the Titans. Everything I talk about is straight from what I see, and that's why I get half the stuff wrong. But so that's probably what I feel. He could be, though. Make it to your point. And in this scheme, in this system, he can get by because he did play right tackle and there's one start and did okay. I'm not going to say he did great. He didn't do poorly either. Some people say they changed the scheme and the blocking scheme, whatever. He did okay.
He survived. Yeah,
he did okay.
Some people about to start getting cut or restructured because I looked and the Titans were basically dead even with the cap this morning. They were dead even. They were like plus $300,000 or something.
Who's everybody? I feel really bad. Everybody's just assuming Jack Rabbit's going to get cut. I'm just like, well, why hasn't he got cut? Like, what are they waiting on? Maybe they're redoing his contract.
Maybe.
And so they get him for not just this year, but next year. And maybe lessen his pay and kind of trying to finagle that. There's been an old strategy. I don't know if it still goes on today, is to wait to the last possible moment, which could be June. And then do that. But they don't get the relief as quickly as they want.
The new year for the league is Wednesday.
Yeah.
You got to get. We're about to start hearing about some stuff.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're waiting till then. I don't know. But it's right here around the corner. I mean, yeah, they let everybody else go. I mean,
the Zach Cunningham restructure would seem like it's something that we got to hear about because it's
really
$10 million
want that
and
to
no
happen.
dead money on the books. So
I really want that to happen.
yeah,
I do.
That's got to happen.
What's the price range you guys think for Cunningham per year? I don't know about the deal. Is he in the 8 to 10? Or is it less than that?
No,
Because that's where I'm thinking the max.
Right now, he's like 10, 11, and 12, or 10 and a half, 11 and a half, 12 and a half.
He's not getting that from me.
The deal that he carried over from the Texans when they picked him off waivers, because his deal came with him. When you get waived, if somebody, well, for people who are listening, if you get picked up off of waivers, then that means the new team assumes your contract. So they didn't get any of the dead money, but they got his last 3 salaries.
Yeah, his base salary was $12.5 million last season.
So maybe they take half whatever it's going to be this season and turn it into signing bonus. That way, it kind of reduces his cap. Because an agent is going to say, no, we can get that on the market. Cut him then.
Yeah, I don't think they want to cut that dude.
I want him around, but you just never know. Sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want it. Because I feel like him and Long matched together, I think is nice.
One guy that they could restructure too is Lawan. He doesn't have much dead money left.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make him some more dead money down the road.
You can go Byard. You could give an extension to A.J. Brown, Simmons, people you know that's going to be there a little ahead of the time, so you get a little bit of a break down the road. Because the more they play, the more their market's just going to up and away. I'd love to see, like A.J. Brown walk away from it, $17 million per year. Oh, no, I would be only this. Well, you take it now or risk getting injured. Oh, my bad. You did have some injuries last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. We'll keep you up to date on all the Titans breaking news that happens. It is Ding Dong of the Week time, though, as we said.
But we must congratulate the Vols basketball team, though, before that, because that was tremendous. I got to watch them go on that run, and that was pretty cool. First time winning it since 1979, which is, I don't know, about 40-something years, 43 maybe. I don't know. So that was pretty cool. Coach Barnes and the players play like a unit. Naturally, their big three played really well, but man, that was exciting to see. I'm just interested how much that momentum continues on into the tournament because the way they played and the way they was knocking down those perimeter shots and threes, man, they can go a long way. And by the way, I got my bracket, and I'm such a ding-dong. I'm going to give myself I got them in the Final Four already. And that's me coming off the hype of them winning that tournament, really. That was the best I've really seen them play all together. And with confidence, though.
Their defense.
Stifling.
It choked the life out of teams. Kentucky went how long without making a three in that game?
Play.
0-13.
Yeah, they didn't hit a three until about midway through the second half. And they were 2 for 20 on the day.
If you play defense like that, holy cow. That's their thing that they hang their hat on. And I thought they were even better at it in the tournament than it was amazing to watch them play defense.
They had that last year, just didn't have the chemistry to supplement it offensively.
Yeah. Oh, they got it now.
Number one value no one really talks about, especially in basketball. But chemistry amongst the secondary, amongst your offensive line, your D-line, those things really matter. And they like each other. You could just tell. So that may take them further than ever. Rick Barnes has only gone to one Final Four, right?
Yep.
So this is history. Hall of Fame coach, but he only got one out of all those great teams he's been coaching, let alone at Texas and Tennessee. So let's see if he can get over the snide. This is the year. This team's got some potential to do that.
This was his second conference championship since he was coaching at Providence, right?
Is that true?
Or since he was at where was he?
You mean you're talking about a tournament championship?
Yes. Second tournament championship. Where was he before Texas and Clemson?
Providence. Yeah,
Providence.
Mm-hmm.
This is his first. If I read right, it was his first conference tournament championship since he was at Providence.
Well, we could say
that could carry with him, but UT hadn't had one since 1979, so it didn't matter who was coaching Tennessee,
right.
And he wasn't there the whole time.
Ben McKee tweeted this morning, Tennessee has had 6 26-win seasons in its history, and Rick Barnes has 3 of them.
Yeah, Rick Barnes never won the Big 12 tournament at Texas.
Yeah.
I did not know that. 94 was his last tournament title in the Big East.
Yeah. Good job, Mickey. Way to make him go look that up.
There you go, Lucas.
Yeah, you got that intern in there typing away. So, that's pretty cool. So now it's to prove not only for the players at Tennessee, but Barnes to see what he can do in the tournament. That's really been his own sticking point throughout his entire coaching career is how far can he take his teams in the tournament. For whatever reason, they always lapse and have a bad game against a team. You go, oh, man, or they should have played better and they should have beat this team easily. So I'm going to watch them closely. Man, I'm thinking about going down. They're in Indy, right? To play their games?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in where the Pacers play. Yeah.
Oh, the home state for you. Did you say we now have we got more O-line news?
Please stop. Good. They won't be drafting one, Mickey.
104.5 The Zone.
We're going to play the sounder every time to make up for all the times we don't get the news.
The Titans are not tendering offensive lineman David Quessenberry. This is per Schefter. He has started 25 straight games at right tackle for them, was a top 10 run blocker in 2021 per PFF. He is also a cancer survivor, which is an amazing story. But that's per Adam Schefter, Quest not getting tendered.
So basically, this player from the Seahawks is replacing Quiz. That's how I see it.
That's it.
So he may start or he may not. They're hoping that he doesn't. They want somebody better.
The Jags, per rep sheet, have signed Christian Kirk to a large deal. They just signed Brandon Scherf. That news broke earlier. Jags, they had all the money in the world to spend.
What did they give Kirk?
Christian Kirk.
What did they give Kirk?
Doesn't say yet. Just says large deal per Shefty and Tom Pelissero.
We got it on the NFL Network. I'm surprised this hasn't come up there, man. But guys are getting paid, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. They're getting paid. Let's do this. Eric called in with a ding dong of the week. It is ding dong of the week. Let's grab a ding dong or two here in this segment. Eric, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I don't know. It's come out good the way it sounded, but I've got 2 ding dongs, and both kind of comedic ding dongs. The first ding dong I got to give to myself. Guys, just when you thought the national nightmare was over, it's not. He's back. Tom Brady coming back next year. I, like everybody else, and also the other people who thought he was retired, he's not. And shame on me, and I'm such an idiot for believing he was done with football. So I give myself and other people who believe they was retired a ding-dong. The other ding-dong has got to go to the Minnesota Vikings for extending Kirk Cousins, guys. This guy has got to be the luckiest man in the world. You would have thought with a new coach, a new GM, that wouldn't happen. And guys like Cole Beasley, Carson Wentz, and Amari Cooper, who are unvaccinated, no longer with their team, Kirk Cousins unvaccinated, he gets rewarded. He's going to probably make tons of money before his career's over and probably never win the Super Bowl. Y'all guys take care.
Thank you, Eric. Kirk Cousins just keep kicking that can down the line.
Kirk Cousins made the most money in the last 5, 6, 7, and maybe even longer years than anybody over that time frame. Man, you know what? That's a question I have to ask Lucas. Would you rather be the highest paid player over the last 5 years or would you like to be in the middle of the road and have 5 championships? That's Tom Brady. One is Kirk Cousins.
I'll take the latter. Take the championships.
Man.
I'm making money either way.
He's not even better than Tannehill. Like, they're like neck and neck, and Tannehill's a little bit better because I think he's more athletic.
And now he's gotten multiple franchises to pay him.
He was the first one, and he was the first one to get his contract guaranteed.
What did he get franchise tagged twice by the Redskins, which made him an untold amount of money over those 2 years?
This guy is the highest paid. He has to be, and maybe even 8 years. Because he signed a 4-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings or something, whatever it was. Now he's gotten an extension for 2 more years. That's 6. Then he was 2 years. That's 8 with the franchise tag with the Reds. At that time, Washington football team. Now it's Commanders. I mean, good Lord, I got 3 names. So this guy.
Yeah, he got extended over the weekend for people wondering what we're talking about. He got another year from the Vikings.
And guess what? He's not clutch either. He's just like Tannehill, Garoppolo. They're not. You can tell watching them.
Lucas, do we have yet more Titans-related news?
What? Oh, I'm loving it. Thank you,
Breaking
Titans.
Titans news
Appreciate
on
y'all.
104.5 The Zone.
Former Titan Roger Saffold is signing in.
I predicted Tampa Bay before we came here to Buck. I don't know what he's done. I haven't seen
Think colder.
Colder? Oh, my. I have no idea.
Buffalo.
Oh, my.
Buffalo.
What'd they give him?
No numbers yet from Adam Schefter, just former Titans guard Roger Saffold. He tweeted this morning a thank you note to Titans and Titans fans. Total classy guy. Didn't take too long for him to land in Buffalo. So Roger Saffold going to be heading up north.
Oh, man. Who was first to report that?
I believe it was Schefter again. I may have to follow him.
You got to follow him.
For 3 days. Dang it. I may have to follow him to get this stuff. It just goes against everything I believe in. He thinks, if you're wondering why he thinks the Music City Miracle didn't happen, he thinks he
was there. He said it.
Yeah, he said he was there, and his eyeballs told him that. Don Davenport just sent us this. Kirk Cousins, 2016, 19.9, fully guaranteed. 2017, 23.9. Let me just say, all of these are fully guaranteed. 23.9 in 2017, 26 in 2018, 28 million in 2019, 40 million in 2020, 21 million in 2021, and now 30 this year and 40.
And what's that total?
Oh, my goodness.
Did she give you the total? Because she
said
we can't add.
Oh, I know. She knows I can't do math. Over 230 million in his career.
Same age as Tannehill. Same draft class, I'm pretty sure.
Other guys are like, what am I looking at their agent like, really?
Wow. Oh,
What are we doing wrong
here?
here?
Was in the first round, and Cousins was 4th round.
4th or 5th? Yeah, they drafted.
No, he wasn't 5th. He was 4th.
They drafted. Yeah, it could have been 4th. Drafted him to back up RG3.
3, right? Because that was weird. Everybody was talking about why did they draft 2 quarterbacks in the same draft?
Right.
And he came out to be the better quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not initially.
4th round. Yep. 2012.
Mm-hmm. So good, man. Yeah. Good for Saffold too, though. Didn't take long. Yeah, man. And guess what? Remember, they want to get a little more physical and run the football. That's really their only, hiccup, really, with the Bills. They lost their offensive coordinator.
Well, they just added the dude who likes to run block.
Smash.
You want to get nasty? Roger Saffold.
They're going to have their pick of running back, and I think they need an elite one. I mean, they got solid ones, but I mean, hey, this dude's no joke.
Oh, man. There's a lot going on. Our heads are really ringing. We can still give our ding-dongs. We'll run through our ding-dongs of the week in the next segment. Also, Chuck in Clarksville, if you'll hold, you will be up first. Also, there's some SEC basketball news. Oh, my gosh, it's busy today.
Legal tampering.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Frank Martin out at South Carolina as head coach. So the SEC coaching carousel continues.
Oh, man. What is that, about 5 now? How many? Well, I know Conzo,
Will Wade, Frank Martin, Mike White leaves Florida.
Tom Crean,
Tom Crean out of Georgia.
That's 5, yeah.
Yeah, that did not take long, gentlemen, at all. Chuck in Clarksville, I think, wants to talk maybe a little college basketball and the Vols, which, by the way, ding dong of the week. My pick is a selection committee. I think that is for a lot of people. But Chuck, what you got for us, man?
Hey guys, just wanted to say I think the main reason UT is doing so well is I can't think of the guy's name, but he was the assistant coach that sits right to the left of Rick Barnes.
Yeah,
they were talking about him in the tournament yesterday about being such a great defensive mind, should be a head coach soon.
Mm-hmm.
But they said he's one of the reasons they're third in the nation in defense.
Oh, Michael Shorts is what Lucas said. But, yeah, he's always the one talking to Coach Barnes. You always see him on the side. He sits right next to him with the black beard. I think that's who we're talking about.
Basically their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but Barnes' teams have always been great defensive teams. So, I mean, we could say it's that coach, and obviously he has a contribution to that, but it doesn't matter where Barnes is coaching at. Defense rules, because you're always going to have defense, because you're always sometimes not going to have offense. You just some days you're just not going to be able to hit the shots. So, and when speaking of ding-dongs, the committee, that's absolutely horrible. It's almost like they had their minds made up and they didn't want to change. Like they're like they're the 3 seed, and that's it. Like they had their minds made up about A&M. They're not getting in the tournament. They for sure deserve to be in the tournament after what they did. So that definitely is on my ding dong. You know what? My ding dong's probably unfair, but Tom Brady is turning into a diva just like Aaron Rodgers, just in a different way. He broke this news literally when 10 minutes after the bracket or whatever, the NCAA tournament and everything. I mean, I guess he knew everybody was going to be watching, so that's smart on his part.
Yep.
But I never believed all the family stuff, and I kept saying that the whole entire time, especially when you play that high. You leave this game typically when you can't go anymore, as Peyton Manning, when something just doesn't function correctly. That's just how it goes. And I think there's a little bit of envy with seeing with the money they're getting. So I'll be interested to see if he gets another contract. I know but maybe not highest price. But if I'm him, there's a part of the ego that says, I cannot have Kirk Cousins making double what I make.
Yep.
Sorry. So he can at least get 40. He doesn't have to get 50 with Aaron Rodgers. But he says, I'm also not going to let Aaron Rodgers have a better shot of winning the Super Bowl this year because I can take him down again. So he can be the highest paid. But I'm so then you give cap relief to the whole, even more so. And then you get some more players. I appreciate what he's done in this league, but some players don't like that at the quarterback position because he's always taking less and he's the best.
Yep.
So he's messing up the market. But, yeah, I'm giving him just the way he's struggling. It's been literally 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Yeah, 6 weeks the family was like, nope, can't do this. I'm out.
Hey, man.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
6 weeks at home, Mickey.
Carpool.
You can do it. Yep,
Giselle was like, no, you get in a minivan. Today's your day.
Yeah. Oh,
no.
You should enjoy. Yeah. Meanwhile,
he enjoyed it so much. He's like, I'm going to.
Here's what he was really doing: negotiating his contract while he was at that soccer match. Because the owner of the Bucks actually owns that team.
Yeah, the Glazer family.
That's what he was doing.
Yep.
And you know what? Wink, wink, nod, nod. I also got a 10% ownership in this, and I'll take less than my contract, but I also get 10% of this. We'll get that done immediately. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, that's how he rolls.
Wouldn't be surprised at all to see that. Blaine's right. He's taken less for his whole career. And he's made plenty of money, but he has taken less than what he was worth. It's like Michael Jordan. Every year you'd look and it's like only at the end of his career did he get market value. He always took less and let everybody else,
I don't know if that was him or more so the organization, the Bulls, who were, just being legit with that.
Yeah, I feel like he had complaints about that, right?
Yeah, him, Pippen, they didn't too much care for.
And you think about it now, a player just says, okay, then I'm done. And that, think of the power that Jordan had, and he never used it.
Well, now that's just LeBron. Now that's LeBron. It's just, the NBA, they live by their superstars. So
yep.
And the NFL's by the quarterbacks. When just a real good, above average quarterback like Kirk Cousins is making 40, It's like, what?
He is going to make, as Dawn Davenport sent us the money, he is going to make $70 million, Kirk Cousins, over the next 2 years, 30 this year, 40 the next. She said, all fully guaranteed. She said she looked it up last night out of curiosity.
I don't like
every dollar
cheddar,
guaranteed.
That's a ding dong in itself. That's a long $70 million ding dong. Come on, man.
I said,
no, I got one more though.
Oh, is it Lunardi trying to explain that last night?
No. I'm no more with the tournament. This is 2 NBA teams and one right down the road in Memphis showing up in what, Lucas? 2 white jerseys. Both teams had on white jerseys.
I missed this.
Memphis had
And
to go
OKC.
back to I guess OKC had to go back to the locker room and change and put on their dark unis.
Is that why you wore a white hoodie today?
Yeah, that
In
is.
honor of-
I actually want to be in Destin, and it's my Destin Seaside. But since I'm not there,
They
it's
both
supposed to
came out
rain.
in all white.
I totally missed this.
Yes, this was the ding dong.
How
And
does
just
that
looking at it, it's like,
I don't know how that happened.
how
Like,
in the
Who
world?
got confused?
Travel soccer teams are able to figure this out.
Yeah, it was so they had to delay the game and go back in.
Get their blues.
Yeah,
Just
so
amazing.
it was the Grizzlies' fault as far as wrong jerseys they had on colors. So I don't know whose fault it is.
All right, if you're just joining us, if you're just getting like off work or in the car or whatever, a lot of Titan stuff is going on, current and former and everything. We will give you all of the moves, and maybe something else will happen in the next 5 minutes. It's all coming up next on Blaine and Mickey.
Don't go nowhere.
It is 2:01. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans making moves today, and almost all of them on the offensive line. First things first, the team announced earlier this morning that they are extending tight end Jeff Swaim for 1 season. And then coming out just minutes ago, the Titans, according to Ian Rappaport, are keeping center Ben Jones as he gets a 2-year deal worth $14 million. And then Adam Schefter, not long after that, saying former Seattle offensive lineman Jamarco Jones intends to sign a 2-year, $5.75 million deal, including over $3 million of it guaranteed with the Titans. Jones, a tackle with 7 career starts under his belt during his time with the Seahawks. Also from Adam Schefter, former Titans left guard Roger Saffold is signing in Buffalo. The Titans cut the 2021 Pro Bowler just last week. Around the AFC South, Ian Rappaport reporting the Jaguars are not done. Expected to sign former Cardinals wide receiver Christian Kirk to a large deal. And taking it to college hoops, South Carolina, according to John Rothstein, has parted ways with head coach Frank Martin after the news this morning that Florida head coach Mike White is now the head coach at Georgia. Also, Braves fans, it looks as though the Freddie Freeman era is coming to an end in Atlanta. Jeff Passan with breaking news that Atlanta and Oakland are in agreement on a trade that will send star first baseman Matt Olson to the Braves. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yeah, woo! That's what today is doing. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. It is a woo kind of a day. There's so much going on. Mm-hmm. So, Tennessee fans, let's just start with the top. Tennessee wins SEC tournament for the first time since 1979, and it gets a 3 seed, promptly taking everyone's jubilation and just instantly ticking them off. So Tennessee fans mad. We're acknowledging that right off the top. We didn't get to talk about it too much in the first hour. We will talk some college hoops
later.
Nuts
and bolts, they got screwed.
All of the nuts and bolts. The biggest nuts and bolts around.
So that's ding dong. That was your ding dong.
Some people Some people are pointing this out though, and Lucas is a Vol graduate. He's a VFL. Maybe getting screwed down to that 3 line may have done them a favor, though, for where they landed as a 3.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to go through Arizona to get to the Final Four, but you got to get to the Elite 8 before that's an issue. So, yeah, for me, I get it. They should have been a 2 seed, and there's really not a good argument that they're not. But, it's March Madness. It's the tournament. When you get there, whatever's going to happen is just going to happen. So I don't think we're going to be hung up on them being a 3 seed when they're, if they're playing in the second weekend.
But that's what we do as fans.
Right.
Because you want to get what you think you deserve.
I think I'm more upset about A&M not making it, right, than Tennessee being a 2 versus a 3.
As a Vol fan, no. I could care less about A&M. I know they got screwed too, but no.
Well, Lucas is yelling SEC,
so that's
SEC.
funny you say that.
Well, no, I'm just saying they deserve to get. Like Michigan, I don't see how Michigan at 17-14 is a tournament team, and A&M with 20-plus wins and beating Auburn and Arkansas on the way to the SEC championship isn't.
What was Rutgers' record? That was the team. I was Michigan too, but
yeah, Rutgers in the first 4, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm with you. Though.
Yeah, they should have been a 2 seed, no question. No, I mean they're the number 5 team in the country.
9 teams in though. Didn't
9 teams, yep.
Yeah,
that is And
the
IU
SEC snuck in late.
Got 6, right?
6.
Mm-hmm.
And the SEC to most people was the best conference.
Yeah,
and you only get 6.
And A&M makes the run that they make.
Yep.
And it's just sorry.
Best conference. This is not football talk. We're talking about basketball. And you talk to the national guys. That's why I asked that question to all of them. SEC, man, they're one of the best conferences in basketball now.
They invested in it for years.
They have.
And it all paid off. Hire better coaches, spend more money. Good Lord. They put in the work, and they got to where they're trying to go.
And, by the way, they may have to play Colorado State, which – pretty good team in the second round, being the 3rd seed there, Lucas.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's a dangerous team. I know you talked about Michigan, but yeah.
Brandon says in his own TV chat, A&M lost 8 in a row at one point. It's kind of hard to come back from that, but they did come back from that. I get that because that's the one thing that always gets held against them. But I mean, isn't it? Haven't we always been kind of told and convinced that it's how you're playing now?
Right.
And here they are playing lights out right now.
23 wins.
Sorry, Tennessee playing lights out.
I get you. Their beef is bigger than Tennessee. But
sure.
Yeah.
Like Tennessee should have been a 2 seed, absolutely. But Yeah, if I'm an A&M fan, I'm pretty pissed.
All right, we'll keep this college basketball discussion. David Cobb, not the former Titans running back, but the CBS writer, will join us at around 2:20. We'll talk more college basketball. But here's what's going on Titans-wise. If you just landed on planet Earth, you're just like getting in the car, whatever. Ben Jones. Thank you. Ben Jones back. That's the Blaine Bishop breaking news sounder. Ben Jones, 2 for 14. 2 years, $14 million. He's back.
Yes!
And that is a hometown discount. I think we all are in agreement with that. That is absolutely a hometown discount.
They tell us his guarantees on that.
I haven't seen the guarantees, just 2 for 14.
If I was his agent, I'd be like, hey, man, we got to get $10 million guaranteed.
10 is guaranteed. We'll be waiting on that news. I would imagine it's a nice number. Jeff Swaim is back on a 1-year deal. He had 31 catches last year. Do you know how many catches Julio Jones had? 31.
Well, yeah,
he matched his catch total.
No.
I knew you would say that, but I put that in there.
Oh, no. I'm about to say, what was the yardage?
Oh, double. He had 210, and Julio had like 460.
And that's why if you don't have a big-time tight end, you pay the receivers over them because they're impacting the game in bigger ways, bigger splash plays. We could talk about Julio and how many games he missed and everything else, but we're just talking about the numbers. That's why people go receiver unless you get an elite. And in my day, it was a Gonzalez and those guys, and now it's Pitts, and, there's guys, Ertz, and people around, Kittles, so, yeah, that's the guys you pay and not, the average solid tight end.
So he will be somewhere in the mix, and I think we're probably all thinking they sign one, they draft one. Mm-hmm. Sign one, draft one.
I think they're going to sign. I think they're going to sign another veteran.
Yeah. Oh, I think they will too. And
middle of the road guy, maybe even your guy, Conklin. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't be happy about that.
I want 2 guys. I want straight out of Conklin, Tyler Conklin, the tight end from Minnesota. He blocks, and he's a good receiver.
My guy got franchised.
Everybody, dang it, man! Everybody franchised their tight ends.
The ones they're going to get franchised. Yeah.
Yeah. Schultz got franchised, and Njoku that he got franchised. Who was the other guy? Third, Gesicki got franchised, and then Zach Ertz got an extension.
Those are their top ones.
Arizona.
Right
that was it. That was the biggies. The other guy that I want, and I know he went to Arkansas State, and I'm sure you can call me a homer because I am. I want J.D. McKissick. I want that dude on the team.
Who was he with?
J.D. McKissick was with the football team last year. Now Commanders. He's a free agent, so he's
but
never been a
Commander.
Tight
ends.
I know, but I want.
He's a running back.
I know, but I want him too. I'm just telling you who I want. And that's my world right now. I'm on the mic. I'm telling you.
I've never heard of that tight end.
J.D. McKissick. He's not a tight end. I want him, though. I'm just saying this. I want J.D. bleeping McKissick on the team. He's not a tight end. Jeff Swaim is back. Adam Schefter reported, I had to get this from somebody else since I don't follow Schefter, Jamarco Jones, an offensive lineman from the Seahawks, will be signing with none of this is official until Wednesday. Wink, wink. 2 years, $5.75 million. And so some of you would say, okay, he's going to compete at right tackle. What about Quest? Well, this came out. They're not giving Questenberry a contract tender. He's the type of free agent. You would have to offer him a certain level of contract, then he could go shop that, he and his agent. They didn't offer him anything, so he immediately becomes an unrestricted free agent. And then the Titans offensive line.
Let me comment on that, though. Speaking of that, Quiz started the entire season, right?
Yeah. He'd started 25 games in a row, I think is what the one of the releases said.
I've never seen a player in the middle of their career not getting a starting offer, even if it's with the current team or another team. So it's going to tell you what the NFL values him at. Like, do they really value him as a starter in the National Football League? Or is he more a swing guy? And I think they're rolling the dice here, and because he's probably more of he fits the scheming system of running the football, but one-on-one pass block, he's probably not. He's just average.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to – somebody should offer him, but he's not going to be for the big dough. But I think they think they're rolling the dice, and maybe they could bring him back in that same role, but not as a starter.
He did make himself –
He should be getting offers somewhere.
He should be getting offers.
In that second-tier group of guys, not the first tier, but – so then if he's not first tier, is he still a starter in this league?
Oh, that'd be a good question. It'd be an interesting thing to watch, but a guy who beat cancer, just kept fighting and playing, has been a solid guy for the Titans, and like you said, has been a starter.
Well, I mean, and I love the backstory and everything else. When it comes to the NFL, they care about the production on the field and what he looks like, and can he fit their schemes. Like a team that throws a lot, they like Aaron Rodgers or Arizona or something, they'd be like, no, we don't want that guy.
Which means very well fits what they do here. So maybe something gets worked out if he shops on the market and comes back and they go, look, here's what we would offer you to come back and be a swing guy for us.
Veteran minimum, something. Yeah, which would be cool too.
For
the Titans.
For the Titans, absolutely. And Roger Saffold, who was let go last week, has signed with the Buffalo Bills. So
1 year deal. I just saw that on NFL Network. Didn't say what it was though.
I think you have this Christian Kirk. So a lot of people talking about him as a potential free agent. Jarvis Landry, by the way, cut loose by the Browns this morning. I know a lot of people have linked him to the Titans, but Lucas Panzica tweeted out like 2 stories where he'd completely thrown Tannehill under the bus. Like just really destroyed Tannehill in interviews after he left Miami. Yes, making it sound like he would not be seeking a reunion.
Well, my throwing him under the bus and you're throwing him under the bus, what was the actual quote?
I'll pull it up here. He was asked about Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, they played together in Miami. This was in 2018. In a conversation with NFL Network, he said, quote,
when Tannehill got traded, correct? Or when he left?
So this was, when Landry was traded from the Dolphins to the Browns. And he said he did not hear from Tannehill. And he said, quote, we didn't really have a good relationship anyway, so I'm not surprised.
But that really doesn't mean a lot to me. And when I say that is, your actions always speak louder than your actual words. It doesn't matter if they had a close relationship. Maybe their personalities were conflicting. But guess what? Tannehill threw to him a lot in that slot. So guess what? My actions tell me he is a good player. From whether they like each other or not, he got a lot of balls thrown his way from Tannehill.
He sure did.
See? So I don't go by the words. He may just not like Tannehill because Tannehill didn't throw him the ball enough.
Yeah, and it was 4 years ago. I mean.
But that does say that he wouldn't be pushing to come here in Tannehill. I would agree with that. But I don't think either one of them would be opposed to it if the right numbers, because he knew he's going to get those targets. At that time, Landry, to me, was at his best. They were like what you had to stop there with the Dolphins. He was a safety valve guy.
I want to say he had a good game or two against the Titans at different times. But
as a Dolphin or?
As a Dolphin, yeah. As a Dolphin, he got cut loose. So he is out there. Christian Kirk was another receiver that a lot of people were kind of keeping their eyes on. What would he get? Because a lot of people are making the deal. He's never had a 1,000-yard season. So what's that worth in this market? It's worth $17 million a year.
Christian Kirk?
He got 17 per year, 4 for 68.
Oh, the Titans just messed up. See, I always think Titans mine.
Because what?
A.J. Brown.
Oh, I meant A.J.
A.J. Brown's be like, Christian Kirk, 17, me 17? No can do. No can do. We're going to start our conversation at 20. You better hurry up because the price is going to keep ratcheting up. Next thing you know, he's going to be at 25 when he's a free agent after next season, and you're going to be like, dang, man, we should have took him at 20.
But there's your number 1 receiver in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Or at least getting paid like it.
That is in Jacksonville, by the way. That's where he's going.
Yeah, they better just turn this thing up, man. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet early.
Which means
I know some people went, oh, well, he was injured a lot. Hey, man, this guy's really good. This guy's really good.
And meanwhile, Big Jeff is like, well, what's Big Jeff worth?
Oh,
what am I worth?
Ooh, man.
So I'm the closest thing possibly that there could get to Aaron Donald walking this earth right now. And I ain't him, but I might get there.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that worth?
And I may be better. You see me? I'm bigger.
I'm
stronger.
Longer arms.
I'm faster.
He's all those things. We're none of those things.
I love giving out people's money when it's not mine, man.
Well, somebody's got to give it out. They're going to get it.
Come on, Amy. Open that pocketbook.
You know she will.
You're talking about building a stadium.
But it's going to be some more people that get caught and some restructures. We're still waiting on that news because they got to have this all done by Wednesday. So just get ready to say goodbye to some fellas, or just know that Vin Marino's over there with his abacus and his calculator moving money around right now. We'll move our money around to the next segment. David Cobb is going to join us. We'll get into some NCAA tournament talk. That's coming up next on Blaine and Mickey.
Some corn on a cob.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Man, we'll keep you updated as more free agency stuff happens. But, I mean, it is the day after Selection Sunday, so why don't we talk a little college basketball now with David Cobb of CBS Sports at David W. Cobb on Twitter. David, let's just start with this. The Vols fans who are Titans fans are excited because they like Ben Jones is coming back. We got all this Titans news, but they are still mad about that 2 seed not happening. So how much of a, I don't know, injustice was this to the Tennessee Vols?
It was certainly an injustice. I don't think there's any debate that Tennessee's NCAA tournament resume is significantly stronger than Duke's resume. And Duke ends up with the 2 seed and going to Greenville, South Carolina for his first 2 games, which would have been a wonderful location for Tennessee. And honestly, a perk that Tennessee deserved because, sure, Tennessee ended up in the South region, but is San Antonio, Texas, as a potential second weekend destination any more logistically easy for Tennessee fans to get to than the West region? I don't think so. Maybe there's some sentimental attachment to the Alamo that will bring some more Tennessee fans to San Antonio if they get there. But really, I agree with the sentiments of what seems to be the majority of the Tennessee fan base and Rick Barnes, who had a press conference quite recently in which he I love the way he was sort of passive-aggressive towards the selection committee, not only on Tennessee's behalf, but also on Texas A&M's, because that team played really well in the second half of the season, beat 3 teams that were at least bubble teams or much better than that in the SEC tournament, and then gets left on the doorstep. So I think there are some legitimate gripes with this bracket this year.
So did we learn that what happens in your conference tournament, it just doesn't matter? Is that what we learned?
So this is always such an interesting topic of debate, and the selection committee will deny that, this idea that whatever happens on Sunday in the conference tournaments doesn't affect the bracket because the work has already been done by the committee in advance of those games. They'll deny that tooth and nail to the very end. But what we saw yesterday makes you suspicious, certainly. Where I come down on it is it's not what does a conference tournament mean for your NCAA tournament selection Sunday. To me, it's what does the conference mean to you as a fan base? What does a conference tournament mean to you as a program? What does it mean to you as a head coach? And as veteran players on that team who should have some say-so in the significance that is placed on the conference tournament. And you can't tell me, looking at the joyous looks on the faces of those Tennessee players, that winning the SEC tournament didn't mean something to that team. And ultimately, I know it didn't help them much when the bracket was revealed, but it's what does it mean to you outside of that? And I think that's where you have to draw some value from it. I mean, I'll look at the Big East as well. Villanova cuts down nets, beating Creighton for the Big East tournament title. But by the look on Colin Gillespie's face, you would have thought that they had just won the national championship. And so I think to programs, to coaches, to players, those conference tournament titles actually mean more to them than it does to the fans, because as a whole in college basketball culture, we place so much emphasis on the NCAA tournament. And in the eyes of some Tennessee fans, if they lose in the second round this week, this season will be a failure. It won't be considered a failure to those within the program, though, because they will have won a championship. They won the SEC tournament. And it's just a shame that it didn't help them anymore in the seeding for the NCAA tournament.
David Cobb, our guest, CBS Sports, talking college hoops and a little March Madness on Blaine and Mickey.
Well, David, since you talked about failures, what would be considered a success? Like, how far can they go? Did you say, okay, we're happy with this season? Because Coach Barnes' history tells you he doesn't do well in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, no doubt. And the South region, in my opinion, is the toughest region of the 4. So you're looking at Arizona, Villanova, and Tennessee as the top 3 seeds. Each of those 3 are entering off of conference tournament titles. In the other 3 regions, the top 3 seeds did not fare as well as they did in the South. So Tennessee is going up against some teams that are pretty hot. And Illinois as a 4 seed is loaded with talent. So, and then look at 5 seed Houston. They won the AAC tournament. Go on down the list. It's a tough region. They're all tough, but I think the South is the toughest. And so for that reason, I look at a potential Tennessee-Villanova rematch in the Sweet 16 And I see a team that gives Tennessee problems because we saw them play on a neutral court several months ago. Villanova won that game pretty easily. Tennessee's gotten a lot better since then, but I don't know if it's gotten enough better that I would trust it to win that game. So I think for Tennessee, I think for any team in this bracket, with how wide open it is this year, I think any team that reaches the Sweet 16 should feel good about its season. This isn't like last year, where it was Gonzaga, Baylor, and everyone else. And if Gonzaga and Baylor had been eliminated before the Final Four, it would have been a massive disappointment for either of those fan bases. I kid you not when I say that any team in this bracket, with the parity that we've seen in college basketball this year, any team that makes the Sweet 16 should feel good about itself.
Going with David Cobb covering college basketball as well as college football for CBS Sports. There's a couple more for me, and this maybe I'll make this a two-part question. That is, what did you like about the bracket, and who got snubbed?
Yeah, well, I think Texas A&M sticks out as a snub, no doubt. I thought Notre Dame could have had a gripe with being placed in a first four game. I mean, come on, you're talking about the second place team in the ACC. And we saw how much emphasis the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee placed on beating Kentucky when it pertained to Duke. A win over Kentucky helped Duke get a number 2 seed that it didn't deserve. But a win over Kentucky didn't help Notre Dame escape the first four, and it certainly didn't help Tennessee, considering that the Volunteers won the season series with Kentucky. So I just thought it was annoying, perhaps, how the selection committee seemed to bend the criteria to fit the outcomes that it wanted, and that was no more evident than in Duke's case, where they end up with a number 2 seed about 4 hours away from campus for the opening rounds. Beyond that, I did like some of the storylines that, whether intentionally or not, they ended up putting together. One that sticks out to me is in the West region, where Davidson is led, their leading scorer is Foster Lawyer, a senior who transferred from Michigan State, and Davidson is playing Michigan State. Yeah. And those stories, because of the way the portal is now, are going to become more common. Another one that's fun is a potential second-round game between Murray State and Kentucky. Those two teams have never played before, which is absolutely bizarre.
Oh, I think they did that on purpose there, David. Yep. You know they did that on purpose. Well, we have to ask you. I have my Final Four bracket right here, and all the teams have blue except for one has orange as my Final Four. So who are your Final Four teams?
Yeah, as of, what is this, Monday? This is Monday, right? Yeah, as of Monday. We still got a few days for me to change my mind. But I'm leaning Gonzaga, Kentucky from the left side of the bracket. Yep. And then on the right side, I've got Arizona and Auburn. And I've got Arizona beating Kentucky to win it all. That Arizona team, their first loss of the season came against Tennessee. Tennessee didn't lose on its home court, so that tells you all you need to know about Arizona's first loss. Their second loss came when arguably their best offensive player, Azuolas Tubelis, was really banged up against a great UCLA team. Really only one loss at Colorado for Arizona that you can't necessarily explain. That team is really good, and the South region is loaded. Tennessee's playing great. Villanova's playing great. I think I see Arizona coming out of it, though, and then winning it all. So that's my bracket. It's nothing too off the wall. Nobody worse than a 2 seed in the Final Four. Auburn's kind of the one that I think is a little bit of a risk there, just because they have not been playing well as of late. But I talked with you guys recently and told you how big of a believer I am in Auburn.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I guess kind of give me your thoughts. I have Kansas beating Auburn in the Midwest. What do you think about Kansas? Kind of break them down for me, because I haven't watched a lot of games of those guys.
They've got an easy path for a team that really doesn't deserve to be a number 1 seed. They have an easy path. Now, they won the Big 12 tournament, and we can't sit here and say that conference tournaments don't matter at all to the selection committee, because clearly it mattered in the case of Kansas and the Jayhawks getting a number 1 seed. It's just another example of selective criteria in the committee using the Big 12 tournament title to boost Kansas to the number 1 seed line. It might have helped it that tournament was decided on Saturday instead of Sunday. I digress, though. With Kansas, the star and the name you need to know there is Ochai Agbaji. Just an absolute breakout senior season, which is not something you often see in college basketball. He was a good player his first 3 seasons, but he's a superstar now. And with Kansas's path, I like Kansas to get to the Elite Eight, but once it gets there, I think Auburn's front court is a lot better than Kansas's front court. Kansas has a really streaky center in David McCormick, and Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith, I think, are a much better front court duo than what Kansas has. So that's why I can't Auburn beating Kansas, but believe me when I say Kansas, I think, has the easiest path of any of the number 1 seeds.
All right, one more for me. We got a caller who wants to actually ask you a question. That is, give me your sleeper or Cinderella team that'll come out of nowhere and, win a couple games or so.
Yeah, Iowa State is a team that jumps off the page to me. So they get LSU in the first round, and obviously with Will Wade out and associate head coach Bill Armstrong out, not an ideal situation for the Tigers there. So a team that's also been playing pretty poorly down the stretch. I like Iowa State in that matchup. And then in the second round, they're probably going to end up facing a Wisconsin team that is limping into the NCAA tournament with the health of Johnny Davis in question. So nice path there for Iowa State. They deserved a better seeding, but I wouldn't be complaining if I were there because I really like the way their first 2 games set up.
We're on with David Cobb, who covers college basketball for CBS Sports.
David, our listener, Nate, is on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, wanted to join the discussion. So, Nate, you are on with David Cobb. Say hello.
Hey, David. How you doing today? Hope all is well.
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Hey, you talked about some kind of behind-the-scenes, some backstories to some of these teams, and you mentioned some of the players and the schools they play for. There's a little bit of a backstory. As soon as I saw this pop up on the board last night, I'm originally from Western Kentucky, so I knew about this backstory. But years ago, as you know, in the mid-'90s, Coach Pearl coached USI and won a national championship, actually. And one of his most heated rivals back then was Kentucky Wesleyan, coached by Ray Harper. And Ray Jr. is now at Jacksonville State. And I'm telling you that those 2 guys, they may act like they really get along, but they do not.
All right, Nate, thank you for the call.
That's phenomenal stuff and one that I had overlooked. So I appreciate that insight. Yeah, Harper's done an awesome job at Jack State, and that's another fun one, much like Murray and Kentucky potentially in the second round. You look at Auburn and Jacksonville State, and that's an in-state matchup there. And so Jacksonville State just beat Florida State in football this past fall. Can you imagine the fervor at that fan base if they were to knock off Auburn in the NCAA tournament?
That'd be pretty cool. They go crazy.
I wanted to ask you this. I know you got a background cover in Memphis and still maybe really have an inside traffic to what's going on there. But how about Penny and the guys turning around and getting in the big dance here?
Yeah, no doubt. He's done a great job in the second half of this season because they were going nowhere fast. Just as recently as 6 or 7 weeks ago, they were on the struggle bus and were not even in the conversation. So the fact that they're in as an at-large and a 9 seed is impressive. If I want to be critical, though, I would say Memphis might have preferred to be a 10 seed because if you're a 10 seed and you're playing as well as Memphis is, you like your chances against a 7 seed, and then you'd rather play a number 2 seed in the second round than play the number 1 overall seed in the entire tournament in Gonzaga. And that's the draw Memphis got. If they beat Boise State in the first round, they play Gonzaga in the second round, and that's a brutal matchup for anyone. But I don't know that I see Memphis, even as well as they're playing, getting past the Zags.
Vautech is an interesting one to me. They were 10-10 on January 26th, and they just won the ACC tournament.
Yeah, I see them going to the Sweet 16. I think you got to put some stock in how well a team is playing entering the NCAA tournament. It's not always a predictor of success. We know how insane this thing can get. We know that UCLA was struggling last season, and then it went on a crazy run. But entering conference tournaments, the teams that were hot did pretty well. Virginia Tech, one of those teams. Texas A&M, one of those teams that got left out, unfortunately. But there's other examples around the country of teams that were playing well entering the postseason last week that continued to play well. And Virginia Tech is a perfect example. And the first game is against a Texas team that is not playing well. And so I think that the Hokies are it's a race to 50 in that game because neither of those teams score. They both play slow. But I like Virginia Tech, and then I think they really got a really good shot against a Purdue team in the second round that doesn't play much defense.
On with David Cobb talking some college hoops. He's with CBS Sports. He's at David W. Cobb on Twitter.
Yeah, David, I guess one question compounded with, I guess, a lot of answers, and that is when the SEC now has fired some coaches, you got any coaches on the radar for any of these positions you think that has already come to head, I guess, and that they got the right candidate right at the top already going into, I guess, maybe this tournament time? March Madness.
Yeah, amazing stuff. That moments before the selection show starts yesterday, Georgia hires Mike White from Florida. You should have seen our Slack channel. We were just, what is going on here? Why now? Why couldn't you guys have waited 24 more hours on this one? But it's interesting, isn't it, that the league is going through a turnover rate within the coaching ranks that makes you almost feel like it's SEC football. I mean, the churn rate this offseason is really amazing. And we may not be done yet because, I mean, if you look at Mississippi State, an NIT team, there is some suggestion that Ben Howland could be done after their run concludes. So Frank Martin, as of a couple hours ago, out at South Carolina. It's funny with the candidates. At this point, you're almost looking at the same pool for almost every one of these jobs. It's similar type of jobs. Florida is the one that I would put in a tier above LSU and a tier above South Carolina and the other vacancies, because Florida is a place where you can win a national title. So perhaps they can go out and get a bigger fish than some of these other openings. But I got to think Matt McMahon's time at Murray State is coming soon. He has certainly earned the opportunity to take a high major job if he wants one. And Dennis Gates at Cleveland State, another name you're hearing a lot. Jerome Tang, the associate head coach at Baylor. Again, if you go and find a candidates list out there right now for any of these openings, the same 10 names kind of apply to all of them. And it's going to be interesting because somebody in this SEC mix is going to end up with about their fifth or sixth choice.
David, fantastic stuff, man. Just have measured breaths right now. We know it's absolute craziness now that March is upon us here, but we'll check back in soon as the tournament gets going, and can't wait to hear from you. David, at David W. Cobb on Twitter, CBS Sports. You can find him there. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Exciting time, absolutely, when you are a guy covering basketball right now the way David does. A.J. Brown has weighed in via social media about these contracts that he's seeing, and one of the contract website guys has weighed in on maybe how much his demand should go up. We got a little A.J. Brown stuff. You will want to hear this. That's next. to give something away. So when he wants to give something away, we give something away. Smashville, caller number 5 right now. Your chance to win tickets to see the Predators take on the Ottawa Senators. That's coming up March 29th. You know the number, 615-737-1045. Caller 5 can get in on the opportunity to win these tickets to see the Senators and Predators. Nashville Predators regular season tickets to all games on sale now. For more information, go to NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Now just pick up your dialing fingers and you'll be ready to go. So A.J. Brown has weighed in on the Christian Kirk deal, a guy who's never had a 1,000-yard season, just got – some are saying it's going to be more than $17 million. I guess there's ways to get it up even more beyond that.
They call those escalators.
Escalators. It is escalating.
Mm-hmm.
So A.J. Brown with a GIF
I think he's listening to us because I told they need to sound him like right now.
It is a GIF. I asked Lucas, who is this gentleman in the GIF? He thinks it's T.I., but he is sitting in a chair.
Oh, yeah, that's T.I.
Okay, Blaine knows. I should have asked this gentleman next to me. And he's – it's a GIF.
I don't know if I'm going to know.
It's the GIF of him where it's like, okay. Yeah. Like, just think if you were the facial expression you would make like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So that is no words.
I'm going to use the athlete's analogy. That's what he got. I can't wait to see what I get. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So John Glennon had responded to Jason, who's the over the cap guy. There's spot track and there's over the cap. The maybe I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, but over the cap. Anyway,
better you than me.
Christian Kirk is now tied for the 9th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. He's never had a 1,000-yard season. He is with the Jags, by the way. The Jags with just unlimited money, although nobody has as much money as the Colts. They started the day with $68 million in cap room.
Round it up to 70.
Next was 48. 2 teams had 48. So the Jags also had cap room. So they're blowing big money on Christian Kirk. So John Glennon had quote tweeted and said, kind of numbers that just might come up when A.J. Brown reps are discussing contract extensions with the Titans, to which the over-the-cap guy Jason responded just 7 minutes ago and said, A.J. Brown should increase his asking price by $7 million per year.
Yep. So that puts him at what, about 25?
That'd be 17 and 7, 24.
Yep, it's gonna keep going up pretty soon. Don't let him come back and have a 1,400-yard season next year. Stays healthy.
Then what are you gonna do?
They're gonna put the tag on him. They cannot let this guy go.
What was the tag this year for receivers? Was it like 18?
Yeah, it's up there. They got to get it. You know when they're gonna sign? They may sign him and Jeff at the same time, man. Like right before training camp or something.
Now, one thing about first-year deals, you can make them real cap-friendly. But that's 2 deals that literally cha-ching, cha-ching. Every time Tom Pelissero tweets, it makes A.J. Brown like $500,000 today, or Rap Sheet or Schefter. Like every time one of those guys tweets something, I'm A.J. Brown and Big Jeff's agent. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ooh.
Let me put another couple zeros over here. Okay, let me add this on. And over the cap guy just said, okay, add $7 million to whatever AJ was wanting.
Yeah. That's what's up. All they need to do is just stay healthy, and they will get paid. And I'm not talking about, like, when I say stay healthy, I'm talking about any major injuries where, you got to be out for months at a time. So knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Very deserving, really good, elite, almost maybe the best at their position. For this young and the production you're getting out of A.J. Brown and Big Jeff, you got to say they potentially could be the best at their positions, or at least top 3. Yep.
I think, and we've talked about this, I think Big Jeff could be the best at his.
I think
that seems like his ceiling.
I think so. I really do. After seeing him do what he did this year, really turned the corner for me, finally seeing him get into the sack numbers, really been effective not only against the run game, but, getting pressure and sacks. What he did, I think he did it twice, 3 sacks in a game. One was in a half, but
he did it against the Rams, right, in a half, and then he did it against the Bengals, right, in the last game when they should have won.
So it's just, that's very rare. I'm just, I'm gonna keep that night. That doesn't happen too often. So I would have been like, hey man, before he gets really out of the radar here, because he can get really out of the. Aaron Donald's going to get a new contract, and he's going to go, well, he's that age. his agent, and he's going to say he is as good as he is today as Aaron Donald, statistically. And I'd say he's better, but the ceiling is higher. He's going to be a better player.
Do you need to get his deal done before Aaron Donald gets his deal done to push his deal even higher? Is that the clock for Big Jeff?
Well, here's what his agent's going to say. Oh, no, we'll take this pace, this turtle pace. Y'all want to go this turtle pace, we can go there. Because it's just going to ratchet it up more. That's what I said. I would be more of about maybe right after this free agency. They got to put everything in chronological order as far as free agency and immediate things they need to have done. But when to me, this is the difference between if I was like a GM. I know I want these players on our team, and they're still young. I'm going to sign them before their contract is up and give them a long-term deal. That way I get them at a discounted rate over the long haul. I've said that numerous times, so that's just kind of how I approach it. Kind of like that. I learned that whole philosophy from Andy Reid when he was there in Philadelphia. He did that with Lito Shepherd to Sheldon Brown. These are defensive backs. Michael, they had guys that, like, well, dang, they just only had a couple years. I mean, what are they? Yep, got them for cheaper, even though their contracts were not up. Yeah, they did it all over the place. So it was just like, And they paid more up front, but at the end, they won in the long term.
Right.
The next thing you know, 3 years down the road, their contracts don't look so good.
Cortland Finnegan was a guy that I remember them a year early and thinking, boy, they didn't waste any time.
Right.
This dude's a starter. And
certain players garner that kind of attention, and I think these two guys do. And I think they're going to do it. It's just, win that timeline.
Well, 3HL will keep you going with everything else that's happened. This is the wildest day we've ever had. There's never been this much stuff happen during one show. They didn't wait till 3:01 for everything to happen today. But more stuff will sure will happen over the next 3 hours with 3HL. So stick around with those guys, and they will get you the rest of the way home. But we got to go.
In the meantime, in between time,
you know it.
Peace. Tighten up.